Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, I have completely forgot to mention this sort of thing earlier, that it's been about 15 years since I had my MrRyukage channel. And as far as that goes, I'm still like waiting on how I'm gonna get this channel back at this point, because of the fact that YouTube was rejecting my DMCA counter notices at that point, and this was like going on for the last 3 months ever since then. But I read somewhere like on Reddit where some guy had that similar problem there, but this time they just decided to like send the counter notice for sending like a request for retraction to like the copyright holders of that sort. And so basically I don't know if that's going to work at that point, but I have like more than one way to kind of send the counter notices over to YouTube at that point there. So whether that's like doing it through email, or doing it through fax, or doing it through snail mail at that point there, because after all, it did gone through the snail mail at that point, but it was like the last time I sent like a counter notice of that sort, there was no, I hadn't really gotten any word from it, and it was like they ignored the counter notices, which they can't really do because it's a violation of the DMCA law there. You know, they're supposed to forward it, you know, and that's it. They can't really go around and make certain deals with certain copyright holders to ignore that. And that was about at least 12 years ago at that point, when they had that sort of deal with Universal Music Group. But it was a way to have Vivo of that sort, because then if they wanted to do that, there was something that they had to do in exchange. You know, especially when it comes to like certain deals, you had to have something in exchange. You know, so that was kind of like the strange part of all that, was like, you know, this. But I may return to like YouTube posts and all that, but it's just not gonna be like the way that I had done in the past, as far as that goes. And although I'm still kind of learning how to use a Power Director as far as that goes, because at least in a way it's not as like sophisticated as Sony Vegas, because everybody back then had pirated Sony Vegas, and you know, because we like the whole product, you know, but we just don't want to like shell out like $1,000 for it, you know. And it was just that, why do that when we could also get a pirated version of it, and that's just the end of it, you know. And I had like 2 different versions of it, because I think I had like Sony Vegas, I think it was like 8, or whatever that one was, like was 8, and then the other one was Sony Vegas 10, was like the other version of it then that I used right around the time when my MrRyukage channel had, when I first launched it. And it was one of the reasons, and I think what it was is that I was like changing the different settings around, because at the time when you can upload, the limit on uploading was different at the time, because you can only upload up to 2 gigs, and then I had to find like a way how to like upload under 2 gigs and all of this, and then this was back then when, you know, 15-minute video, when you were stuck with like 50 minutes, and then if you had unlimited videos, it was something like you had to be like at a certain a level of good standing in order to do so. But now it's like it's a whole lot different, because I think it just had to do with a lot of other things that YouTube had done. I mean, Google had done as far as upgrading the servers a bit, you know, to handle like, you know, 4K or 8K videos, and you know, and all of that, and so it was like one of those little things. And so anyways, I guess that's probably it. So talk to you guys later.